play. And the Thresh, yes, it's already the priority, so understandably so, it gets banned immediately.
Yeah, does make sense, and I'm sure they're going to be avoiding more Rek'Sai for Cuz. I mean, he's 0-3 so far on the Rek'Sai. Doesn't really want to be playing that all too much unless he gets forced again in a Game 3 if it does come down to it. So you see the Caitlyn, the Zac are banned out, of course. Galio taken away from Pawn this time around. And the Gragas as well. Score having multiple very nice games on the Gragas in the past and had a good one in game number 1 here.
But this means that Elise and Kalista are still up, and we might see KT fancy leaving one of them up so that they can trade. They're quite successful with both champions, and it would be a surprise if they test Longzhu's hand, because if they don't leave both up, they would just be giving one power pick away to Longzhu.
What'll it be? Down to the wire. It will be that Taliyah ban. We haven't really seen this type of strategy you're talking about all too much in summer, but I love it.
Yeah, this is the strategy where you say, well, we can play against both Elise and Kalista. We have a strategy prepared against both, and let's make sure that we take the Elise. But KT has had a lot of success with the Kalista, and it looks like Longzhu found a way to prioritize some of the champions that KT likes to run with Deft's Kalista. The Galio and Gragas are the two big ones that they really love to pair with Deft on this pick, and they will be picking up another tank, and it wouldn't be a surprise if once again they go with a 4-tank lineup to make sure that the Longzhu early game doesn't strike, and they hit that sweet, sweet stride in the mid game where Kalista and 4 frontliners can just wipe the floor.
Looking to pick up the Ashe here for Prey in game number 2. Does make sense. It is his most played AD carry by far. You add even more CC and engage onto your lineup. But will they pick up something in this round to deal with the Kalista? Looks like they're thinking about the Alistar. They will pick that up.
And you've made Longzhu angry, and now they have busted out their signature picks. The Ashe for Prey, the Alistar for Gorilla. It couldn't be more iconic than this, and this is when they're really putting all their marbles on the table. They're saying this is our best composition, and it looks like to me this is what they wanted to go for in the first place. But KT, they are no strangers to the meta, and sure, Longzhu gets comfort that is relevant to the patch, but is it as relevant as Kalista Rakan? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Maokai too, even into the mix, so taking that in, and now they're thinking about banning away certain top lane picks, the split pushers, the Jacks, which Khan already is 3-0 on that pick. They want to deny it from him so that they can force this kind of 5-on-5 team fight with the Kalista and tank composition that they're going for. LeBlanc going to be banned away from Pawn.
The LeBlanc ban is one that makes sense because she can dodge so much of Elise's spells, make sure that she has a great time laning no matter what gets thrown at her, and more targeting towards Khan. These two picks, I guess they did not fancy dealing with the Jace, and these early bully picks will have a lot of synergy with the Elise. So if they get Elise and a bully into the top side, it could be disaster for KT. However, Renekton still remains available. You've got Camille that can also synergize quite well with what Longzhu is going for, considering that KT has banned out 2 split pushers. Longzhu might be thinking, well, if they don't like split pushers, how about we give them what they don't like and pick that pick ourselves?
Thinking about the pick here for BDD, and yeah, there it is, the Orianna coming out. They already banned the Taliyah, and they're going to take another big pick away from BDD, another pick that Pawn has been looking so good on recently, specifically in the Orianna. So now I'm curious to see what BDD is going to pick up, because no Galio, no Taliyah, no Orianna. That's just 3 main picks that he's played the most here in LCK Summer.
And the synergy here is bonkers. You've got Maokai that can go in, Rakan with the Kalista that can just be tossed in, so they have so much engage to hit the backline. And sure, the Syndra and Ashe are gonna get locked in, but they're no match to the hard engage that KT can go for, and it's an unconventional hard engage. Typically, you look at these picks and not think that they would be able to access the backline as easily as they are able to do so, and instead, it all relies on execution, whereas Longzhu have a more traditional composition with the Alistar, the Ashe, and yeah, we can't get too excited about. I kept my
mouth shut. No getting debated here on this English
It was
stream.
played as a mid laner in EU LCS, so If Kane gets locked in, what you make of it is completely up to you, but the compositions are in, and both are much more well-rounded, and they will actually be meeting each other in fights in an even playing field, unlike last time.
This is really cool to see. We're going to see if Longzhu can get the early ball game rolling with that Renekton Elise combination on the blue side that we've seen so often. Also got opportunities in the bottom side with Prey on Ashe and Gorilla on the Alistar. If they have Cuz rotate down and perhaps a teleport out of Khan, could see some big fights down in the bottom side around the Dragons, or even just around that bottom turret.
I think KT, as always, they love to prioritize the bottom lane, and they have many ball carriers with Kalista, which means that, or with Orianna, that means that they can go for engages with multiple members, and that's exciting to see because so many times has Orianna become this lackluster pick that is just there in the mid lane, for wave clear, just wave clearing every once in a while, or somehow getting 1 or 2 man shockwaves, or with tools at her disposal and other champions, she becomes that much more exciting. And Rek'Sai, we have criticized this pick so much, but when you have this much hard engage, she works. And it's hard to imagine that she needs a composition similar to what Nidalee has, where you need many champions to go for hard engage, but she really does. She's not your engage pick. She's your follow-up. She's now a bit of DPS and can assassinate picks.
Yeah, Score looking to make it work on that pick. This time the composition's very even. Let's jump into game number 2, KT versus Longzhu. Seeing fans in the audience praying, trying to say, hey, maybe if we pray, then Prey can go off in this game.
You saw somebody praying?
Yeah.
Damn.
They're going hard, man. They got to do whatever they can as fans to make sure that their team is the victor.
See, now that's real support. Not just our thoughts and prayers, but we're literally there. Our cheers, our thoughts, our prayers, the snacks. They get snacks. They get treats here.
Yeah.
Make it feel good.
Nobody's birthday this time around, so we didn't get any little packages or anything like that.
It's all of our birthdays today. It's this week for LCK. It's a long week birthday celebration.
Would have to agree. It's pretty ridiculous, the games we have coming up. This is only about 1/3 of the way through the Longzhu KT series, but as you were talking about before, it is going to be KT versus SKT on Thursday, and then also Longzhu versus Samsung on Sunday. So lots of big matches coming up with all the teams that are on top.
Big matches, all for first place, all for the playoff seedings. Remember that in LCK, we don't have the format that we see elsewhere where you have a quarterfinals and semifinals bracket followed by a finals. It is indeed King of the Hill style. So if you finish first, you only get to play 1 best of 5 before winning the split. Second, you get 2, third, and so on.
Yeah, which just makes these fights even more important for both of these teams. It would be fantastic for Longzhu. If they take this win against KT and Samsung lose to Rox, they're immediately in first. Now, Samsung losing to Rox, that's going to be hard for Samsung to lose that game, of course, but they're putting themselves in such a good spot to only have to play in the finals. And for a team that's found the most success for their organization in this LCK Summer 2017, that would be a fantastic way to secure their spot. But they got to win 2 in a row against KT. It's not going to be easy.
But we can't get too excited because they're still SKT, and it feels like SKT was just hit with the blue shell out of nowhere, that they are still lagging behind, just waiting to make a comeback, but they're still as dangerous as ever. Have they come back? Well, they were able to walk away with a victory over the lower ranked teams. Here's a gank in the bottom lane, though, but a nicely timed ward from Deft will stop it.
Oh, he's looking to get Mata here. Oh, that was really close as Mata decides not to put a ward down or check the brush.
He's still going for it.
Okay, here we go. Coming around the side. Mata trying to hop away. Still has his summoners. Looking for that cocoon, and it will land. Just going to offer some damage. Deft even fighting back a little bit, forcing that repel away.
you got to fight back there and make sure that he learns not to gank you again, and you are aggressive. You're not just a passive laner that will not react to being harassed.
Because even under sight here, trying to put down wards, trying to mirror score and get as aggressive as possible, distract the bottom lane, force Mata over so that he can get a nice ball rolling for his bottom lane, for Praying Gorilla.
Well, it's a position you want to be in as an Elise. We saw what Jin was doing on their Elise, what Umti was capable of with that pick, just 1v2ing at times, making sure that you use that range advantage whenever possible, especially in a matchup like Rek'Sai. If you see her use tunnel, you know she can't follow up on anything that you do, and you have such a wealth of advantages if you play it out properly. However, we've also seen Elises make big mistakes into Rek'Sai, so this matchup can go either way, and it's just a matter of who has more finesse around finding the opponent and respecting them.
Yeah, I don't know which game Cuz will feel more pressure in between the two. The first one where he had to play the Rek'Sai that he's not comfortable on, or the second one where his team is behind and he's on that playmaking Elise and his team is counting on him to have a good game.
Well, the team is counting on him, but they still have a strong late game. You've got Ashe and Syndra. They can play out well. You know that Renekton can deal just fine into these picks. It's not the end of the world, but it's going to come down to Smeb. How much can he actually do on this Maokai? And the pick of Maokai before had the emphasis of being such a powerful pick because he was so easy. It's a point and click, and you can't really get killed because of the damage reduction onto the ultimate. But now that it actually is a skill shot, it takes a surprising amount of skill to actually use. Even though it's a massive AoE, we've seen many players miss that ability, and it's so critical that you actually can't afford to do it, because if you get caught out, you die right away, and you lose value for your team by doing so.
Yeah, I think it's the speed is a little bit hard to get used to. You got to play a lot of games of Maokai and have that forward thinking, saying, okay, they're going to be running away in this direction, so I have to angle it in that exact direction.
I do not envy those who have to play a lot of games of Maokai.
Bit of fighting back and forth here. You can see there wasn't much kill pressure, none of the jungles around, and Pawn did get low on mana. BDD still having a potion means that he will stick around. Just trying to force one of the other mid laners, the opposing mid laner, to go back before them so they can get a slight lead.
Well, remember that individual kills used to be more prevalent in League of Legends. They kind of got whittled down, but also there's the belief that if you've got two teams or two players at the highest level, that there should never be any solo kills happening. Instead, we're going to get an attempt onto a dive on Cuz. It gets spotted.
Yeah, the sapling slowing him down for quite a while. Here we go. Dominus is put down as well as that, but look at the ultimate coming out. Cuz is going to be locked down for way too long and is not going to hate that kill. So both Cuz and Khan getting low and a failed dive.
That wasn't even close. Welcome to the Maokai zone. You just don't die. You can actually survive. Elise, Renekton, that so many other picks just cannot hold a candle to that combination.
You seem really confident to deal with that, immediately popping that ult to do the angle, and Score with that move says, okay, I'll just steal your red side jungle. Come on down, take the red buff, get some wards, and you can see that Cuz is running straight in that direction, and level 6 is hit here for Score.
He steals the jungle, and it's actually more apparent than not, because that's a 54 to 17 CS. When it's like 17 to 30, you say, oh, that's not too bad. You know, it's double. Score's route did include the double camp. So there's a full red side. And instead, he's now 26. Wait, 36 CS up. 36 CS up.
Doing math on stream in 2017.
Hey, I got it quickly.
Hey, you eventually got it. Props to that. Doesn't always happen. But yeah, really making his presence known. And here we go. Lots of CC burned onto Pawn, who actually does cleanse. Nice respect there, saying, okay, don't want to give up first blood on kind of a rough play to make happen, but just playing it safe.
I think he realized that Longzhu did not have to commit. Oh, here's a fight.
Okay, that red buff ticking onto Khan, and there's that point and click. The twisted advance into the knockup. Can he get taken out here? There it is. First blood into the shockwave, and the flash over the wall. There's the double kill. KT with a fast start in this game.
Oh, that is disaster for Longzhu. Their 2 early game champions just got put in the dumpster. 0-1 for both. And that's a call for Renekton now. And Elise previously had a Dark Seal. She's thinking, oh, maybe I can make something happen. Maybe I can try to snowball. Longzhu will not have any of it. Maokai, so simple. And Renekton doesn't have his ultimate here. This fight could have been different had Dominus been available. But it was used in the dive earlier. And the collapse, what looked like a Renekton going for a cheeky steal, denying the Rex's MCS, trying to help his jungler out, ends up being that Maokai followed him. The trees are alive in this jungle, and they are not happy that you're harassing the Raptor camp.
Yeah, I was watching Cuz in that fight too. Even after 3 members of KT were collapsing, he still tried to cocoon, score, and hop on in. He stuck around for way too long, trying to make something out of nothing, and it's really hurting him. He's down 2 levels against Score. He's attempting to take a buff, which he should be able to, even though this is spotted by KT. But he has a long way to make his way back, even after that blue buff, still level 5.
And because he's so low, this could have actually been an opportunity for Longzhu to go for a dragon with the recall of Mata, with the pushed lanes. They could have started this, but it's just not viable. Cuz cannot afford to go for an objective like this without being farmed. He's 50 CS behind Score now. This is a significant number now, and as long as he continues to look for these plays, all that Score has to do is keep farming, and Elise will be put further and further behind. And Longzhu's already dealing with a composition that what should be 5 members is basically 4.5.
Trying for another one of those opportunities that's really on the fringe. It's more than likely not going to work. Trying to get onto Mata now, and there's no follow-up, and it's Gorilla alone against 3. Can he make his way out of this one? The fast collapse out of Longzhu. They're trying to help out here, but he's getting extremely low. There it is, the flash over the wall. The Void Rush coming in, though. He's looking for that kill. Can he get it? The headbutt away, but on the other side, Cuz is going to go down, and so does Gorilla, and things are beginning to fall apart.
And it starts with Cuz looking for somebody once again, thinking he can go on Mata. Now they've got their sights set on Prey. Fate's Call is available. There is a flash. Goodbye, Prey.
Stop the recall first. They're going to use that grand entrance and then save him if they need to. Okay, not going to save him. Maybe he was like 1 mana away? Not 100% sure. It looks like it's 100 mana.
Yeah, he didn't have
the mana, so that's really unfortunate for KT.
Fake called. it wanted Mata's
Rakan back. Yeah. Well, they were doing good up until then. Giving Longzhu a little bit of hope. They want to make another interesting game, perhaps.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, come on, remember, make this close.
Well, because he's so far behind, 0-2-0. Kind of unfortunate to see his performance here when it really matters, when the pressure is on.
He's too far behind. Him and Alistar cannot take down Mata without him getting away. And when you force everybody to collapse on, they're already at a massive disadvantage. That's a completed Cinder Hulk onto Score at this stage in the game. So Cuz gets taken out at the same time that Death picks up a kill onto the Alistar. And they also get to counter jungle again, and it was right from KT to start prioritizing Cuz. Their preparation for this game was correct. Game 1, they prioritized him, they shut him down, and it was apparent with their early game lead. And this time around, mistakes from Cuz have been punished dearly, and now they're looking for a first break and a play onto Prey.
Okay, the arrow does come out, but look at Prey, he's all alone. Gorilla trying his best to save him. There's the heal, but eventually he does get taken out, and Gorilla, no doubt he's in trouble too. The Void Rush coming out. Looks like they're not going to go for that full-on dive as Def was tanking the turret, but that will mean 1 kill, and surely this bottom turret.
Mechanically, it was a bit of a misplay there from Score, using that Void Rush a bit too preemptively. It made the aggro go back onto Def, and they were unable to walk away with the kill onto Alistar. Cuz answers back with some red side counter jungling, but there is just nothing for KT or nothing for Longzhu on this map, and it's so unfortunate to see him now soloing this Herald. Resorting to major objectives will only put him further behind. There's rarely any experience or gold in this one, whereas KT walk away with a first brick turret. They get an Infernal. They get to counter jungle side of the map, but now Cuz is in fighting an Orianna.
It is 3-on-2 in favor of Longzhu, and you can see the stun is going to miss. Pawn still very much confident to take this one. BDD low on mana. There's that Maokai ultimate coming in too. Score coming from the right side after taking that Infernal Drake. And it hasn't leashed. They're just going to give it away. Longzhu starting that one. And KT coming through and saying, huh, thank you very much. I guess we'll take it.
KT really looking like big brother here, and Longzhu just barely realizing the real power that KT had in store, because they are being matched every step of the way. The composition that KT has is capable of fighting and closing out games, and this looks like the adaptation that KT has added after their mistakes against SKT, where they picked compositions that were not capable of closing out games, but they have such a wealth of engage that it doesn't matter. They're able to get those early game leads and still close out effectively while maintaining the punishment on everything that Longzhu wants to do.
This game is looking a lot less close when you compare it to game number 1. Even when Cuz got behind, he was still doing something in the game. This time it's just more of a lead, I suppose. And he really hasn't made any kind of early game for this Elise work at all. So,
well, think of the preparation that KT must have put into this, especially when we come down to the debate of Elise versus Kalista, one that has been brought up so many times. They gave up the Elise, and you could argue that maybe KT thought that Longzhu would take the Elise, because so many times did they prioritize the top lane with Khan and Cuz. Their synergy has been stellar. That Prey has a wide variety of champions in the bottom lane. He can lane Ashe into the Kalista. It's expected, considering that they played it in game 1, KT. And so they leave up the Elise, and because you know that Cuz's tendencies are to the top side of the map, you give up that champion, but then you pick something that is not going to die at all. The Maokai has no threat of dying to the Elise and Renekton, so you mitigate one of the strengths that Longzhu have relied on for so long. You throw them that curveball of confidence, and then you have Score just running Cuz around in circles. Now the levels have caught up. Thank you, Jungle, for making it so easy to now catch back up to somebody that you've outplayed all game long.
I can feel your your feelings about this one, the negative energy, but either way, he's still way far behind in terms of items, in terms of, you know, impact that he's had on this game. We'll see if he can do something to make us be excited about him again. Maybe we as a community got a little bit too excited about Longzhu. This is why this is happening, but KT seriously looking quite good.
Our excitement was the bane of Longzhu. I don't know about that one. Here comes the Void Rush over him.
Oh, really nice Q there to get him out. And the Void Rush coming in, that blasting plant's trying to save their lives, and Score does take a bit of damage, but here's Mata, and that's going to be 1. Can we make it 2? Cuz is going to flash there. Nice stun from BDD to save his life.
That's quite strange that we didn't see BDD commit to an ultimate there. He could have easily taken out Score with Unleashed Power. He has Ghost, he's got Flash. Pawn wasn't in range to come up on that one, so maybe the rest of Longzhu is starting to feel a bit of demoralization with the excellent play that we've seen out of KT. They've been stuffing everything that Longzhu wants to do, and that has to take a toll on your mental fortitude.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, the bricks are beginning to just crumble before their eyes, not even just fall out of the wall. I mean, you got one turret up in top getting really low, Pawn rather, by himself in the mid lane, taking that mid lane turret. Another red buff to be stolen, this time by Deft with a mid-game Kalista. Going really aggressive, actually, by himself. Is going to eat that arrow. Thankfully, Mata's there to save his life for now. The Unleashed Power comes out, and Deft survives. Oh boy, not looking too good for Longzhu. Now they're on the run. Let's see if Mata can get another engage, looking for another grand entrance. There it is, nice dodge, and actually Mata getting pretty low. Shockwave coming in is not gonna do too much. Now Pawn is being focused down. Gorilla trying to get that stun, can't quite. And actually Pawn takes out Cuz on the back of that fight, so nicely done by him. Smeb incredibly tanky. Not sure if Khan can do enough damage, and again, Pawn is still here, so they were even thinking about turning that one, but we'll just let them go.
Cuz his mechanics right at the end allow him to get some participation in kills. Finally, we get to see the 0-3 Elise get something on the board, but it's still not enough to get any stacks in the Dark Seal. And they're thinking about killing Khan again. He's got Dominus.
Okay, we got this Maokai ultimate coming out here. There's that burst trying to get onto Pawn, but Pawn with really good positioning, able to get out of this one. No kill, just pretty close.
Oh boy, and in the meantime, Score just gets left to farm by himself in the top side of the map. This is the jungler's dream, where you get to free lane farm and then look at your CS be significantly higher than your counterpart. And it all starts with a bit of a half-hearted engage from Deft onto the Elise, and sure, the stun comes through, but BDD's under so much pressure that he blows the ultimate immediately. Not enough orbs to take out Deft. They commit for a chase, and the cocoon really is the big part, as well as the headbutt from Gorilla that actually puts everybody kind of closer towards Orianna so that the shockwave does not connect. But in the end, Pawn still gets to walk away with some great kiting and another kill onto the Spider.
This guy's a beast on Orianna recently. You can see the reason why they take it away from BDD. Already 2-0-4 with 8 stacks on his Dark Seal and 2 other completed items to go along with those Merc Treads. So in Wonderland for this Orianna, having a good time.
Especially because of her summoners too. Will she be even more safe? Not in danger of getting arrowed or scattered the weak, let alone the cocoon, as she can just almost one-shot the Elise at this point, and they're looking for Khan. His ult is not up yet.
Hey, looking for the engage grand entrance. Good dodging so far, but the shockwave will come in. Is it enough damage? There it is. One more Q out of Pawn will take it away. The arrow is going to hit Mata, but who really cares? I mean, there's no follow-up. They can't do much after that.
Oh, what I really want to see is Score give us a Flame Horizon overcut. So rare is it when a jungler actually gets over 100 CS over their counterparts, and so much of the farm is revolving around the solo lanes. But if he can pull it off, oh, that will be so satisfying.
He's working on it. He was up in the top lane, boosting his numbers for quite a while. And just about 71 CS, or 81 rather.
And you know, that actually affects the morale of your teammates too, because let's say you're behind, and you've fallen far behind in CS as a jungler. You're like, hey guys, I'm a little bit behind. And maybe your allies haven't been following your every move the entire game, so they don't know where you're getting your CS. They press tab, and they see that their jungler has 70 CS more than you. They're like, what's been going on? I haven't seen you all game, and you're really far behind. What happened? And so it impacts the morale of everybody else. Not positively, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, BDD in the mid lane, he didn't have all too much help from Cuz, and you know, still was able to do decently well against Pawn in the mid lane. And even though Cuz didn't come to his lane more than once, he's just not doing all too well. A similar scoreline actually to game number 3 on his Rek'Sai. And I would have to agree with you. I think just the coaching staff, the entire team of KT have seemingly read into Longzhu's strategy, into their weaknesses, and they targeted it. And it's looking really one-sided, especially here in Game 2.
They've read into Longzhu, but they've read into the meta. They definitely have been doing their homework, and it's been showing up. It's a kind of new evolution. It's a slight tweak to what we have seen so far. It's a different combination of champions that is typically expected. And this is one of the few times that we have seen somebody actually succeed against the Elise Renekton Onslaught. Before, it was a death sentence if you let it go through. They're going to start Baron while this fight is going on, but it gets spotted right away. So they're going to turn with Mata on the side.
Yeah, they do have the Callista, so they have the gigantic Rens that will eventually come out here. Also having that Blade of the Rune King. Gorilla already taking a bunch of hits here. They're going to flash actually after Cuz. They got him into the knockup, and that damage from the Rek'Sai is enough. Death, though, does get burst down by BDD. The shockwave's going to be good, though. BDD getting super low. There's that twisted advance, and down he does go. The rest of Longzhu extremely low. Can we have an ace? There's the fourth. A triple kill right now for Pawn as Khan by himself on the run. Score going to go for the Void Rush. Down he goes. Ace for KT, and that will be the Baron.
An almost perfect ace. Oh, there it is, the pearly whites. But this is what KT have been doing so many times, and it's beautiful to see. They do these Baron base, but instead of making it obvious to the enemy team when they're going to turn, they have one member that can flank, one that can engage on the side brush, waiting on a different angle, and so nobody expects it. Game 1, it was Smeb on the Renekton, waiting in the banana brush, gets to go for the engage. This time it was Mata, and you can't just face check every single brush. You are on a timer going for this. They go on to Cousin, sure. Maybe the flash was a bit unnecessary. It comes out of nowhere, but because of the quickness of the engage, Longzhu is not capable of responding thoroughly. They commit to pawn, but the damage is already there. Prey is in no man's land there, dealing with the most fed Rek'Sai we have seen in quite some time. So he goes down in hell. He still had a Void Rush to take him out. It's just so cool seeing the interaction here with Void Rush right at the end. Oh, knocks him out. It looks like an angry cougar.
Yeah. Prey Seeker into that one. Actually, hunts him down.
Not even like a cougar. It looks like when you have a cat that you don't like, and then you just you chuck away. You're like, get away from me, cat, and like, rawr, and then scratches.
Yeah, something like that for sure. Maybe when you're playing with a cat with a toy and he charges something, jumps at it, or if you scare it and he hops up with his paws in the air. Looks a bit like that, but I think Rek'Sai is some kind of void monster, so still some comparisons there for sure. You could see where that gold goes for score. He goes for the Stone Plaint and the Knight's Vow. He's like, well, I have carries on my team. I have a 6-0-6 Orianna. I don't need to do damage anymore. I was strong in the mid game. Now I'm just gonna use all that gold, become extremely tanky. You can't do anything to me. I'm a finisher, but also I'm a starter for these team fights that can follow up. And you can see he's even going 1v1 with Khan right now on the Rek'Sai. This is pretty ridiculous.
It's similar to the old Rek'Sai where she had the tunnels globally, where she could just split push and kill nearly everybody because her E gives so much true damage. So you can actually deal with these tanks, especially if it's a Renekton that is far behind. He is near useless. Sure, he's got damage items now, but by this stage in the game, for Renekton to be strong, he needs Stone Plates, he needs Randuins, and he's not even close.
Longzhu trying to make the heroic defense right now. No inhibitors are down, but they are going up against a Baron push. Already, all of the tier 2s on the top side of the map have been taken out. Only that one left down in the bottom side, extremely low. But KT trying to send their focus into these top 2 lanes. They still have a minute left of Baron. They're thinking about that engage onto Smeb, but Smeb's like, yeah, okay, sure. Nice cocoon, buddy.
Oh, man. The side of Longzhu looks so sad, whereas KT looking at the screens with complete glee. No engage for Longzhu here. They're not strong enough to take KT right now.
Yep, they're down about 13,000 gold as an extra turret does come down, and they're looking for the miracle engage. It's going to have to be some kind of burst onto depth or pawn, and even then, you know, that doesn't mean it's over. They get the arrow, it hits Mata, they can't further up the engage. He gets Fates called, and down will go Cuz. He will be the first casualty in this one. They get Mata, and Khan is trying to do his best, but look at this, the shockwave down in the base. Gorilla's gonna go down following Khan, and that's gonna be an extra 3 kills. Only BDD remains, and he can't stop the onslaught of KT.
Smeb is basing, they're going for the end. He's gonna TP on the minion wave. They've got 24 seconds on Cuz, but he has been useless all game long. His being alive or dead will not matter here, and this is gonna be KT finishing Longzhu in under 30 minutes.
Yep, there's the TP, and they will go. 10 more seconds. They're gonna go on to BDD here. No hope for him. The ace comes out. Down will go the turret, and this game, this series is no longer close as KT declare themselves the victors of the Rift, the victors of LCK Summer so far. They're looking for this 2-0. They're going to focus down that Nexus. Big engage from Gorilla, but it doesn't matter. 2-0 victory as KT slaughter Longzhu tonight.
Not even close. If you look at the mistakes that KT made in the mid game in the dives, and you forget about them, had they cleaned that up, this game would have looked exactly like Game 2. And wow, it looks like if SKT is not in the mix, KT's mental trigger is just not there. They sail right through, but it's not quite that. They definitely learned from their battle at the top against SKT. They applied it here, and it's a joy to see because now they're poised to have great seeding in playoffs, and they're basically almost at Worlds.
They're basically there. They're so close. Have to have a good fight against SKT. That's going to be their real test. We talk about tests tonight. We said, Longzhu, this is the first one for them. They have to get through KT. They have to prove that their lack of experience, their rookie jungler, is going to come through in this fight against the veteran team of KT. And the answer was absolutely not. It was 0-2. They had a very close first game, but game 2 did not look like the Longzhu versus KT that we expected. And so Longzhu, they have to go back to the drawing board. They're still in the playoffs, but they're not going to get that first seed. And it's going to be extremely hard for them. I'm not even sure mathematically if it's possible now. But they're not out of this. They can take these games and try to learn from it. And hopefully they do, because I was excited about Longzhu. Perhaps that's why they lost. But you can see they're taking it a bit hard. Lots of discussion in the booth right now for their team.
And the discussion has to revolve around the meta. It really felt like Longzhu was using a composition that maybe was viable 3 days ago, 5 days ago, a week ago, but KT just came out swinging with something much better, and their play was there to match. And it all started here. When your Elise and Renekton go down at this time without getting an advantage, you lose so much hope.
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything going early game, and it was just desperation after that. Cuz looking for certain cocoons, he got locked up by the Shockwave twice in a row, that max range Shockwave out of Pawn's stellar Orianna tonight. And after that, with the engaged compositions that they had, the Rakan into the Rek'Sai, into the Fate's Call with the Kalista, it's just one after another. Of course, the mechanics in this fight weren't the greatest, but they were able to eventually get this one.
They were just relentless, and it was a thing of beauty. This is the KT that we all get excited about, even though there's cautionary tales about doing
I don't know what you're talking about.
And see, look at it, right? You get the stun, he's right there. You can just click him and get a kill, but even when the arrow connects, the rest of Longzhu does not have enough damage in them to take down Def, and the game was just all about KT. We just watched KT killing Longzhu over and over and over. Nothing that Longzhu was doing came at their own fate. It felt like KT was just driving the main car, whereas Longzhu had the fake steering wheel on the right, just thinking, oh yeah, we're a part of this, we're doing this, like we have a say in this.
Yeah.
No.
They're like the younger brother that has the unplugged controller, and the older brother's like, yeah, you're playing with me, you're helping. Well, not really, as we're getting a look at all the fights here. We get to see all the fun stuff when it comes to that end of game recap, at least. The eventual ace that came out through here, the perfect setup with the Baron bait. KT looking so smooth, so collected as a team. No pressure felt by the side of them as they crushed Longzhu in 27 minutes, under 28 minutes, under 30 minutes, and looking so good doing it.
They surely did, and now they are that team to fear. And it seems like only SKT can be the team that can truly knock them down, but they are still 2-3 wins behind KT now, so they've got a long ways to go if they truly want to challenge KT once again, as before we called KT as the potential SKT killers, as that was what they were designed for, but maybe SKT is now the only team necessary for them to knock down KT back down from first place.
So guys, with that, this will conclude the series, but we will have an interview first. I'll throw you over to Jisun for the translation.
Hi, this is Jisun, your translator, and here we have Dev for the MVP interview. So how do you feel? So if you win today's match and also the upcoming match, we're going to make it to the first place. So we prepare until the late morning, and I'm really happy that we made 2-0 victory today. So Ash, what the key dealer? You have to put all the damage. Were you confident? Well, we got actually in the lead in the early game, so I'm kind of not satisfied that we couldn't make it easy going. So, yeah, I'm kind of sad, but I'm happy that I made it. Then how did you feel after seeing the damage graph? Well, I was the only dealer, so I was the one who has to put all the damage, and I expected to more damage that I put it, but I'm kind of sad that I only put 70,000. Then how did you make your game in the lead? Well, as we prepared a lot, we had too many shot calls, so we try to make it simpler. Then what kind of feedback did you guys share after the game? We have a lot of matches that we lost after the winning game turning around, so we try to keep our focus till the late games. And who was the most supportive player? Well, all the players were trying to cheer up each other. Then let's check out the MVP on the VCR.
Okay, Def not giving it away as the MVP for game 2 was Pawn 9, 0, and 8. One of the smoothest Orianas I've seen, especially that kill.
We got to see it on the VCR. The tape got popped in, and in the end, KT Pawn was written all over it, and without a death against Longzhu. His shockwaves were great, and this final one was just a thing of beauty. Watch this flash in, make sure that Prey gets bopped again.
So we're back with Pawn. So how you feeling recently? I'm feeling good. Then how do you feel from today's victory? I actually, in the beginning of the season, I performed really bad, but I think I kind of made my form to the among levels, so I'm really happy right now. Well, speaking of form, BDD is also in its best form. How did you prepare for today's laning phase? So I try to focus on the champions. And I saw your big smile after the team fight. How did you feel? I really wanted to beat Longzhu, so I was really happy to take the victory. And the second set was really an early, short game. How did you feel? Well, they let us play Kalista. And as soon as I picked Kalista, I was sure that we're going to win the game. And Pawn, I also thought that Deft is the best Kalista player, so we're trying to make competition based on Kalista, and it worked out really well, so I think we won the game. And how was Pawn's performance today? I think Pawn is performing really well. Recently, he's carrying us, the whole team. Yeah, I think Deft also puts a lot of damage. Any more compliments? It's really hard for the dealers to carry the game, but it's really amazing that we both carried the game and got the MVP points. I think our performance is not consistent, even especially in the late game, so we're gonna try to get improvements on that. So your next match is versus SKT. Your last words and your message for your fans? I really want to beat SKT this time. and make it to the finals. I also want to, I really wanted to win Longzhu, but also I really want to beat SKT, so we're going to prepare and practice more and make sure that we're going to win. And this was the end of the interview. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Ji-sun, for helping out with that translation. And man, both those guys so shy, so nice, and they're pretty sick good at League of Legends. Definitely deserving the MVPs for today. So let's take a look at the standings after today's matchups. KT Rolster on top, and Longzhu sitting right behind them at number 2.
Yes, and now they have SKT, the final match of redemption. I don't know who scripted that one, but that is the most fitting end match for KT and SKT. And if they win that one, they absolutely clinch that first seat. They are no longer capable of being beaten with another victory under their belt, and that would mean that I believe they will pretty much auto-qualify for Worlds. They did place at second last spring split, and a second and first place seed gives you a hell of a lot of points. And the race now becomes between Longzhu, Samsung, and SKT.
Yeah, definitely is. The Longzhu versus Samsung game on the last day of the regular season is also going to determine probably who is in second place and who is in third place compared to Longzhu and Samsung, who's going to get in there. So I said it before, Longzhu, they had a rough time today. They failed the test, essentially. Hi, girls. But now it's up to KT. We'll see if they can come to the test, if they can actually go up against SKT in that final match. I'm feeling pretty confident, Crumbs. I don't want to say I'm excited, but they're looking really good.
We've yet to see SKT, though. We have yet to see SKT, and SKT, you never count them out, ever.
Okay.
Yeah. You specifically said your confidence ruined Longzhu today. What is the confidence going to do to KT now?
I thought it was going to be like a 2-1 victory in Longzhu. You know, I thought Cuz would play a little bit more calm. You know, he would have more of an effect in that early game specifically, but not the case. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Guys, we're going to go to a big break about an hour before we get to Samsung versus Rocks. We'll see you then.